Our objective now is to ensure renewable support is sustainable by gradually integrating the electricity generated through renewables into the market. Many renewable energy sources have reached a scale and a level of maturity that allows these energy sources to compete with other more conventional sources. As a result, it's time that these technologies respond to market signals and that public support is allocated through a competitive process. The guidelines allow for a progressive shift. From 2016 onwards, operating support to renewable energy sources will be granted through feed-in premiums, which preserve market signals, instead of feed-in tariffs, and renewable producers will have to sell on the market. During these 2 first years of the implementation of the guidelines, EU countries will test the allocation of public support through competitive bidding process, such as tenders or auctions. The new guidelines also introduce the possibility to grant reductions from renewables financing to energy-intensive users. Energy costs borne by industry are higher in Europe than elsewhere. This can seriously affect our competitiveness, particularly in those sectors that are heavy energy users and are exposed to international competition. The guidelines encourage aid to cross-border infrastructure projects. And in a similar way, the guidelines facilitate the granting of support to infrastructure in assisted regions with underdeveloped energy networks and to smart grids which promote energy savings across the entire energy system. These new rules will help Member States invest better in their energy choices for the next years, making a good use of public money through efficient instruments and supporting a more integrated internal market. This will contribute to making energy more affordable for European citizens and for European companies. In the case of Germany's 2013 and 2014, there were benefits that were not compatible that are being investigated regarding benefits for energy-intensive users. Our investigation was opened in December. We will use the criteria of the new guidelines to consider to what extent the benefits that were given in the past 2 years were compatible or not. These guidelines will come into force 1st of July this year and will respect the schemes that are now being implemented. There are some provisions that will need to be used by the new schemes gradually in the coming, the next 2 years, 2 years and a half. And what we say is that we consider that the maximum duration of a national scheme should be 10 years. But the validity of these guidelines is until 31st of December 2020.